The Senate will come to order. Senator Merrifield.
Will you all join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Majors, please call the roll.
Senators Aguilar, Balmer, Baumgardner, Carroll, Cook, Crowder, Donovan, Garcia, Grantham, Guzman, Heath, Hill, Hodge, Holbert, John, Johnston, Jones, Kafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez-Umenick, Merrifield, Neville, Newell, Roberts, Scheffel, Scott, Sonnenberg, Stedman, Todd, Ulibarri, Woods. Mr. President.
Here, with 35 present, 0 absent, 0 excused, we have a quorum. Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the journal from Friday, February 13th be dispensed with and the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor, aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The journal is approved. Folks, we have a special guest who is going to sing the national anthem for us today, Caitlin Oshner. She's a senior at Platte Valley High School in Kersey. She has sung across the nation, including the national anthem at the National FFA Convention, the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas, and most recently at our own National Western Stock Show. Would you please join me in welcoming her?
say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
To the new season of The Voice. Thank you for joining us. Committee reports. Senate Services.
February 17, 2015, correctly engrossed Senate Bills 80 and 142, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bills 58, 99, and 161, correctly revised House Bills 1017 and 1052, correctly enrolled Senate Bills 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154, 155, 156, 157, 158, 160, 162, 163, and 164.
Message from the House.
February 13, 2015, Mr. President, the House has voted to concur in Senate amendments to House Joint Resolution 1009 and has repassed the bill as so amended.
Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 178 by Senator Newell and Representative Danielson concerning the continuation of the Colorado Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing and in connection therewith implementing the recommendations of the 2014 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Senate Bill 178, Health and Human Services.
Senate Bill 179 by Senator Garcia concerning investment in U.S. Highway 50 and in connection therewith requiring a study to be conducted to determine the economic benefits of making safety and capacity improvements to the highway between the Kansas border and its intersection with U.S. Highway 285.
Senate Bill 179, Transportation.
Senate Bill 180 by Senator Neville and Representative Neville concerning the state agency requirements for the enforcement of new regulatory requirements on small businesses in connection therewith enacting the Regulatory Reform Act of 2015.
Senate Bill 180, Business, Labor, and Technology.
Senate Bill 181 by Senator Woods and Representatives Sane and Joshi concerning the appointment of receivers.
Senate Bill 181, Judiciary.
Senate Bill 182 by Senators Garcia and Crowder and Representatives Navarro and Esgar concerning allowing the Department of Corrections to transfer certain offenders to the youthful offender system to participate in age-appropriate programs.
Senate Bill 182, Judiciary.
Senate Bill 183 by Senators Hodge and Sonnenberg concerning the quantification of the historical consumptive use of water right.
Senate Bill 183, Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy.
House Bill 1032 by Representative Singer and Senator Aguilar concerning the addition of licensed mental health professionals as authorized providers of mental health services to minors who are at least 15 years of age.
House Bill 1032, Health and Human Services.
1038. House Bill 1038 by Representative Arndt and Senator Hodge concerning flexible water markets.
House Bill 1038, Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy.
House Bill 1047 by Representatives Lawrence and Becker and Senators Grantham and Neville concerning a prohibition on the use of simulated gambling devices.
House Bill 1047, Finance.
House Bill 1069 by Representative Wright and Senator Holbert concerning information required to be included in recorded written instruments filed with the county clerk and recorder to claim a homestead exemption.
House Bill 1069, Finance.
House Bill 1078 by Representatives Nordberg and McCain and Senators John and Woods concerning immediate reporting of missing children who are in the custody of a state agency to law enforcement for inclusion in national crime databases.
House Bill 1078, Health and Human Services.
House Bill 1117 by Representative Windholz and Senator Guzman concerning the clarification of the application of the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act to the conduct of the internal affairs of domestic entities.
House Bill 1117, Business, Labor, and Technology. Third reading of bills, consent. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title of all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar?
Senate Bill 142 by Senator Roberts and Representative Pabon concerning a change of state law to make requirements for monies held in escrow for the payment of the ad valorem property taxes the same as the requirements of the Federal Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act of 1974. House Bill 1017 by Representatives Hamner and Buck and Senator Roberts concerning non-governmental volunteer fire departments in Colorado and in connection therewith the 19th Volunteer Fire Department Organization Act.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate adopt all of the bills on the third reading of bills for final passage consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 142 and House Bill 1017.
You have heard the motion. Is there any discussion on any of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 142 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Crowder. With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1017 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Aguilar, Senator Lambert, Senator Kafalis, Senator Guzman, Senator Donovan, Senator Crowder, Senator Martinez-Humanic, Senator Sonnenberg, co-sponsors, Senator Heath, Senator John, third reading of bills. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 61.
Senate Bill 61 by Senator Holbrook concerning the non-applicability of disclosure requirements under Colorado law governing campaign finance in the case of certain issue committees that raise relatively small amounts of money.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move that Senate Bill 61 lay over to February 24th.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. That motion passes. Senate Bill 61 will lay over. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 100.
Senate Bill 100 by Senator Stedman and Representatives Foote and McCann concerning implementation of recommendations of the Committee on Legal Services in connection with the legislative review of rules and regulations of state agencies.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move that Senate Bill 100 lay over to February 20th.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Senate Bill 100 will lay over until February 20th. Mr. Majors, please read the title of House Bill 1052.
House Bill 1052 by Representatives Carver and Melton and Senator Todd concerning eligibility to receive a grant from the Military Family Relief Fund.
Senator Todd.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues. Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. And I move House Bill 1052 on third reading and ask for an aye vote.
Is there further discussion? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1052 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Minority Leader Carroll, Senator Heath, Senator Kafalis, Senator Hodge, Senator Aguilar, Senator Guzman, Senator Jones, Senator Ulibarri, Senator John, Senator Kerr, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Crowder, Senator Lambert, Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Neville, Senator Grantham, Senator Cook, Senator Roberts, Senator Scott, Senator Newell, Senator Merrifield, Senator Garcia, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Donovan, Senator Johnston, Senator Woods. Does anybody not want to be a co-sponsor? Please have the President. Mr. Majors, please read the title to Senate Bill 80.
Senate Bill 80 by Senator Hill and Representative Lundin concerning the choice of Public Employees Retirement Association members to participate in the defined contribution plan established by the association.
Senator Hill,
Thank
happy
you, Mr.
birthday.
President. Colleagues, I move Senate Bill 80 and ask for your support.
Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 80? Are there any no votes? Minority Leader Carroll, Senator Heath, Senator Kafalis, Senator Aguilar, Senator Guzman, Senator Kerr, Senator Ulibarri, Senator John, Senator Jones, Senator Merrifield, Senator Newell, Senator Donovan, Senator Stedman, Senator Todd, Senator Hodge, Senator Johnston. Didn't recognize you without your winter jacket on. Senator Garcia. With 18 ayes, 17 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 80 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Scheffel, Senator Lambert, Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Lundberg. Please have the President. Further co-sponsors. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side of House Bill 1017, ask for reconsideration.
The motion is for the reconsideration of House Bill 1017. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Somebody messed up a vote.
House Bill 1017 will be reconsidered. Mr. Majors, please read the title of House Bill 1017.
House Bill 1017 by Representatives Hamner and Bug and Senator Roberts concerning non-governmental volunteer fire departments in Colorado and in connection therewith enacting the Volunteer Fire Department Organization Act.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the Senate adopt House Bill 1017 on third reading for final passage.
Is there further discussion on House Bill 1017? Are there any no votes? Senator Aguilar. Scratch that. She is not a no. Are there any no votes? for this reconsidered bill from the consent calendar on third readings? Is someone writing this down? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1017 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Martinez-Humenic, Senator Lambert, Senator Woods. If you've already co-sponsored this bill, you do not have to re-co-sponsor. Senator Todd, just to be sure. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side, ask for reconsideration of Senate Bill 80.
That's a motion.
Mr. President, sorry, belay that. Having voted on the prevailing side of Senate Bill 80, move for reconsideration.
The motion before us is the reconsideration of Senate Bill 80. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. That motion passes. Senate Bill 80 is up for reconsideration. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title of Senate Bill 80?
Senate Bill 80 by Senator Hill and Representative Lundin concerning the choice of Public Employees Retirement Association members to participate in the defined contribution plan established by the association.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I move Senate Bill 80 again and ask for your support.
Is there further discussion again on Senate Bill 80? A roll call has been requested. Seeing no further discussion, a roll call has been requested. Mr. Majors, would you please poll the senators?
Senators Aguilar. Aguilar, no. Balmer. Balmer, aye. Baumgardner. Baumgardner, aye. Carroll. Carroll, no. Cook. Cook, aye. Crowder. Crowder, aye. Donovan. Donovan, no. Garcia. Garcia, no. Grantham. Grantham, aye. Guzman. Guzman, no. Heath. Heath, no. Hill. Hill, aye. Hodge. Hodge, no. Holbert. Holbert, aye. John. John, no. Johnston. Johnston, no. Jones. Jones, no. Cafalis. Cafalis, no. Kerr. Kerr, no. Lambert. Lambert, aye. Lundberg. Lundberg, aye. Marble. Marble, aye. Martinez-Humenic. Martinez-Humenic, aye. Merrifield. Merrifield, no. Neville. Neville, aye. Newell. Newell, no. Roberts. Roberts, aye. Scheffel. Scheffel, aye. Scott. Scott, aye. Sonnenberg. Sonnenberg, aye. Stedman. Stedman, no. Todd. Todd, no. Ulibarri. Ulibarri, no. Woods. Woods, aye. Mr. President.
Aye.
Mr. President, aye.
With 18 ayes, 17 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 80 is re-adopted. Co-sponsors. Majority Leader Scheffel. Senator Marble. Senator Lambert. Senator Lambert. Senator Baumgardner. The Senate will stand in recess. Senate will come back to order. Majority Leader Scheffel. Soon as we hear a message from the House.
February 17, 2015, Mr. President, the House has adopted and transmits herewith House Joint Resolution 1012.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate proceed out of order to take up House Joint Resolution 1012.
You have heard the motion that the Senate proceed out of order. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will proceed out of order. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to House Joint Resolution 1012?
House Joint Resolution 1012 by Representatives Kaiser and Danielson and Senator John concerning the designation of Colorado State Highway 93 from mile marker 0 to Colorado State Highway 72 as the JCSO Sergeant David M. Baldwin Memorial Highway.
Senator John.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I move HJR 151012 and ask that it be read at length.
Whereas Sergeant David Baldwin, a United States Air Force veteran, began his 27-year law enforcement career with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office in February of 1987 and was later promoted to the rank of sergeant in June of 1996. And whereas in the patrol division as a patrol supervisor, Sergeant Baldwin coordinated the department's first road rage sting and assisted in the running of the Basic Law Enforcement Academy. And whereas in 2013, Sergeant Baldwin organized the first multi-agency escort and motorcade course for motor officers across the metro area and coordinated all DUI enforcement and DUI grants for the county. And whereas Sergeant Baldwin served for 22 years as a firearms instructor, 15 years as a driving instructor, 7 years as a subject matter expert in law enforcement driving for the Colorado Peace Officer Training and Standards Board, and 5 years as a member of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office Bomb Squad. And whereas Sergeant Baldwin's final position with the department was supervising the Sheriff's Office traffic unit, consisting of 7 motorcycle officers, where he rode a Harley-Davidson on duty and was involved in the basic and advanced motor operated courses hosted by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. And whereas on January 26, 2014, Sergeant David Baldwin was killed in the line of duty while on patrol when his police motorcycle was hit head-on by another vehicle on Colorado State Highway 93. And whereas Sergeant Baldwin's service and dedication to his country and to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office was extraordinary, and he will be sorely missed. Now, therefore, be resolved by the House of Representatives of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the Senate concurring herein, that Colorado State Highway 93 from mile marker 0 to Colorado State Highway 72 be renamed the JCSO Sergeant David M. Baldwin Memorial Highway. That the Colorado Department of Transportation may accept and expend gifts, grants, and donations for the purpose of the initial placement of the 2 signs to mark Colorado State Highway 93 from mile marker 0 to Colorado State Highway 72 as the JCSO Sergeant David M. Baldwin Memorial Highway. Be it further resolved that copies of this joint resolution be sent to Sergeant Baldwin's wife, Crystal Baldwin, and son, Josh Baldwin. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, Stan Hilke, Executive Director of the Department of Public Safety, Marjorie Sloan, Mayor of the City of Golden, the City of Golden City Council, the City of Golden Police Department, Mark Williams, Mayor of the City of Arvada, the City of Arvada City Council, the City of Arvada Police Department, the Arvada Fire Protection District, the Colorado Transportation Commission, Herman Stockinger, the Secretary of the Colorado Transportation Commission, and Don Hunt, the Executive Director of the Department of Transportation.
Senator John, colleagues and guests, please be seated.
Thank you, Mr. President. What an honor to be able to bring this resolution forward, but also a very sad time. Sergeant Baldwin, and I really want to hear the details, because he gave so many hours and weeks and months and years to his community. 22 years as a firearms instructor, 15 as a driving instructor, 7 as a subject matter expert in law enforcement driving for the Colorado Peace Officer Training and Standards Board, 5 years as a member of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office Bomb Squad. 7 motorcycle officers is the oversight that he gave to our community. And it was during his time that they give so selflessly and so tirelessly that he was taken. It is an honor for me to carry this resolution and to really name a portion of this highway after someone that is so deserving for the many, many, many years that he gave our community. And I also want to take just a minute for us to all really tell the Baldwin family how much we support you, Crystal, and his son Josh, that we love you, and that we will not ever let the community forget what an incredible man your husband and your father was. And with that, I ask for a yes vote on Senate Bill 1012.
Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. Folks, most of the time we're out there on the highway, and when we interact with an officer, it's not always the best of times because we've usually done something wrong. Either we've, sped or something like that. But it's just a reminder to all of us, first of all, the risk that those officers take, in particular, those that actually get on those motorcycles and get out there on the highway. It's very up close and personal. It's an extremely important part of what they do and what they do to keep us safe. I think sometimes we forget that. We get in a hurry. And, Officer Baldwin gave his life doing what he wanted to do. He basically was a servant. He had a servant's heart. Crystal and Josh, we're not going to forget. Every time we see those signs, it's a reminder. And it's also a reminder to all of us what we should be doing when we're on the highway and making sure that we show the support and the respect for enforcement that helps keep us safe. But we will not forget Crystal and Josh. We will not.
Further discussion? Seeing none, a roll call has been requested and the chimes will ring as we vote on House Joint Resolution 1012. Mr. Majors.
Senators Aguilar. Aguilar, aye. Balmer. Balmer, aye. Baumgardner. Baumgardner, aye. Carroll. Carroll, aye. Cook. Cook, aye. Crowder. Crowder, aye. Donovan. Donovan, aye. Garcia. Garcia, aye. Grantham. Grantham, aye. Guzman. Guzman, aye. Heath. Heath, aye. Hill. Hill, aye. Hodge. Hodge, aye. Holbert. Holbert, aye. John. John, aye. Johnston. Johnston, aye. Jones. Jones, aye. Kafalis. Kafalis, aye. Kerr. Kerr, aye. Lambert. Lambert, aye. Lundberg. Lundberg, aye. Marble. Marble, aye. Martinez Humenic. Martinez Humenic, aye. Merrifield. Merrifield, aye. Neville. Neville, aye. Newell. Newell, aye. Roberts. Roberts, aye. Shuffle. Shuffle, aye. Scott. Scott, aye. Sonnenberg. Sonnenberg, aye. Stedman. Stedman, aye. Todd. Todd, aye. Ulibarri. Ulibarri, aye. Woods. Woods, aye. Mr. President.
Aye.
Mr. President, aye.
With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Joint Resolution 1012 is adopted. Senator John.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move that the morning roll call be added to as co-sponsors.
Without objection, the morning roll call will be added as co-sponsors to House Joint Resolution 1012. And with that, the Senate will stand in a brief recess to greet the Baldwin family.
No, we're just going to do.
Cook's ready? We do. Oh.
We're live. That's new. It's all good.
You must remember this.
Yeah, I was just being asked, we still got quite a ways to go, or no?
We're laying over a ton of stuff.
Because I have a meeting upon adjournment.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Okay.
It's going to go pretty quick now.
The Senate will come back to order. General Order's second reading of bills consent calendar. Majority Leader Shuffle.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would request that the General Order's second reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 15, be transferred to the General Order's second reading of bills calendar.
Granted. Senate Bill 15 will be removed from the second reading of bills consent calendar and placed at the end of General Order's second reading of bills, which takes us to General Order's second reading of bills. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of General Order's second reading of bill calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. That motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of General Order's second reading of bills. Senator Cook will take the chair. And then off you go.
Okay. Committee will come to order, and the court rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 122?
Senate Bill 122 by Senator Newell and Representative Moreno concerning the continuation of the regulation of massage parlors in connection therewith repealing the regulation of massage parlors.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move that Senate Bill 122 be referred back to its committee of reference, the Business Labor Technology Committee. Colleagues, some folks on the floor that have been working on an amendment, and after conferring with the folks that are working on the amendment and the committee chair, it's believed that it would be best if this were to be referred back to the committee of reference so they can work on this in greater detail. And that's the reason I'm asking for the motion to refer Senate Bill 122 back to its committee of reference. Ask for an aye vote.
Motion before the body is to refer Senate Bill 122 to Business, Labor, and Technology Committee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 139.
Senate Bill 139 by Senator Hill and Representative Lee concerning allowing the Safe to Tell program to reveal the identity of a person who makes a fraudulent report and in connection therewith requiring a post-enactment review of the implementation of this act.
Majority Leader Shuffle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move the Senate Bill 139 lay over to February 19. Ask for an aye vote.
Heard the motion. All in favor of laying over Senate Bill 139, please say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Majors, please read Senate Bill 135. Please read the title.
Senate Bill 135 by Senators Martinez, Humenick, and John, and concerning modifications to statutory provisions governing urban redevelopment affecting public bodies in connection with urban renewal projects.
Majority Leader Shuffle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move that Senate Bill 135 lay over to February 20. Ask for an aye vote.
You've heard the motion to lay over Senate Bill 135. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Majors, please read Senate Bill 128.
Senate Bill 128 by Senator Carroll and Representatives Zoncroft and Primavera concerning reports to law enforcement by medical facilities with the consent of a victim of a sexual assault.
Minority Leader Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 128. Members, Senate Bill 128 is a bill that accomplishes two important goals for survivors of sexual assault. The first is some victims are interested in seeking and ready to only seek medical attention initially, and may or may not know or be ready to deal with law enforcement at this point in time. What this bill allows is a survivor to do a medical-only exam without triggering mandatory reporting until or unless she or he is ready to do so. The second thing it does is it creates a third reporting option where forensic evidence-based evidence can be collected but anonymously. Sometimes the perpetrator has some very charged, complicated situations. This evidence can be extremely time-sensitive, but a survivor may or may not know or be ready to deal with law enforcement. This gives an option to the survivor to do timely collection of forensic-based evidence so that the evidence is preserved in case at such point in time in the future she or he chooses to go forward with prosecution on this. This bill is about putting the victim back in the driver's seat to decide the course of if, whether, how to proceed on options that are very important. Would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 128. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is passed. Mr. Majors, please read the title to Senate Bill 116.
Senate Bill 116 by Senator Stedman and Representative Garnett concerning needle stick prevention.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Senate Bill 116, and I move the report of the Committee on Judiciary.
Senator Stedman to the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee report changes three things in the bill. It strikes references to sharp objects. It adds clarification regarding probable cause, and it inserts the word trace before the word residual, just to make clear that we're talking about very small amounts of leftover controlled substances that may still be contaminating a hypodermic syringe. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Judiciary Committee report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. Oh. There is an amendment on the desk. Mr. Majors, would you please read the Senate Amendment L004?
Amendment L004, Senate Bill 116 by Senator Stedman, amend printed bill.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Amendment L004. Colleagues, this is an amendment that was suggested after the committee hearing last week that concerns other first responders, such as emergency medical technicians, firefighters, anyone that is a first responder that comes in contact with someone who's in possession of dirty hypodermic syringes. And what this says is that if the person in possession of those syringes turns them over to the first responder prior to the police showing up, the same exemption that's in the statute now from arrest and prosecution, if the person turns it over to a police officer, also extends to the fact that you gave it instead to the EMT or the firefighter. What the EMTs asked after committee was they said, okay, suppose we're the first ones to arrive at the scene of an accident, and it turns out somebody's got something in their pocket that could cut me or puncture me, and they tell me and they give it to me. The law says they're exempt from prosecution if they gave it first to a police officer. And so this expands the exemption a little bit so that giving it first to the first responder gets you the same result, which is you won't be prosecuted for possession of drug paraphernalia or any residual amounts of controlled substances, and that there's an incentive for the person in possession of these dirty syringes to hand them over and have them safely stored in whether it's an arrest situation or perhaps an accident or a crime scene where first responders are the first to get there. And that's what the amendment does, and I would ask for an aye vote.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question for the amendment sponsor. Okay, okay. In the case where you have federal law enforcement officers or first responders for instance, DEA agents and so forth, what's their status, either under the amendment or the bill, if they're in the area? Because I think we've extended some authorization to certain federal officers to enforce state law in this area, but do we have a restriction on them to follow the state law in this case? It's a hypothetical, but I'm just wondering if they're covered also in the bill or by the amendment.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, I believe they would be covered by the original language of the bill to the extent that they are currently peace officers. Because the bill, as it stands now, said that if you turned over dirty syringes to a peace officer, you would be exempt from arrest or prosecution for that. So this talks about first responders, and so they may, if they weren't a peace officer and they weren't covered by the previous version of what's already in the bill, then this amendment, I think, would allow them to make a case that they're the first responder. As far as which law they enforce, they were given peace officer status for enforcement of Colorado laws, and so this would be an exemption that would apply to them. But there are also federal agents that are capable of enforcing federal law, and so if they wanted to, arrest someone and bring federal charges against them for being in possession of a dirty syringe, they could. Now, I don't think the federal government usually goes after, street users and one dirty syringe or trace amounts of controlled substances left behind, but that's all theoretically possible. The intent here, and when we get to the main bill, is just to provide an incentive for people to disclose that there's something in their pocket that may injure and expose others to diseases. And whether that person is a firefighter or a police officer, we'd like that incentive to be the same, so that neither of those folks, in dealing with these people on the street, would be at risk of a needle stick and potential exposure to communicable diseases.
Thank you.
Senator Lambert? Okay. Any further discussion? The motion before the body is the adoption of L004. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. To the bill, Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And colleagues, by now I think you've kind of got a flavor of what this bill is about. This bill is to create an incentive for people that are in possession of dirty hypodermic syringes to turn them over to the police if they are being encountered on the street and the police wants to do a pat-down search or some other sort of search with a search warrant, so that the police officer doesn't get stuck with that syringe and potentially become exposed to infectious diseases like hepatitis C or other forms of hepatitis, HIV, other communicable diseases. We've now enlarged the bill so that it provides the same incentives for the syringes to be handed over to a firefighter or an EMT, any first responder on the scene. Again, what we're trying to do is not have people be accidentally stuck by hypodermic syringes. Here in the city and county of Denver, they've been collecting statistics on this, and for the 2-year period of calendar years 13 and 14, over the course of 2 years, 12 Denver police officers experienced accidental needle stick on the job. This is something that is preventable and avoidable. It's something that's very unfortunate because those folks had to worry, for some time, did I acquire HIV infection or hepatitis C virus? That's not a pleasant thing to have to worry about, and there are certain precautions that you have to take while you're worrying. We can avoid all of that if we had a better system of encouraging people to disclose and have these things set safely aside where there won't be accidental needle sticks and puncture wounds. That's the thrust of Senate Bill 116. It includes a component for training and education by approved syringe exchange programs so that the average person on the street that may be in possession of these things, may be using injection drugs, is aware of the fact that they can hand this syringe over and not be arrested or prosecuted for the syringe. Anything else in their pocket, any other probable cause that syringe may lead to, is still fair game, and the bill makes that clear. It's really just about setting aside these sharp objects that potentially expose people to disease. And I'd ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, I ask for your support on this bill as well. I think we've got an important step we're taking here in terms of bringing the community and law enforcement together and not creating what I think is growing to be an increasingly adversarial relationship. We have an opportunity through this bill to say, yes, there are times when there need to be confrontations. Yes, there are times when it needs to be adversarial, but that's not every time. And certainly in this case, when it comes to some of this drug paraphernalia, we need to find better ways to bring the two sides together rather than continue the adversarial relationship. I think there's an important step in doing that. Protecting this idea we all talk about in rule of law depends upon protecting those who enforce the law. And in this case, I think protecting those who enforce the law in this manner, it does so in a way that continues to move us forward in public safety, as well as reconciling what can be sometimes a tense relationship, an overly tense relationship between law enforcement and the rest of our community. So I ask for your support.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 116. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is passed. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 15.
Senate Bill 15 by Senator Gonzalez to represent Primavera concerning clarification of benefits for autism spectrum disorders and health benefit plans issued in this state.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I move Senate Bill 15 and the Health and Human Services and Business, Labor, and Technology Committee reports.
To the Health and Human Services report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, the Health and Human Services Committee report on January 22nd.
Senator Gonzalez. Meyer, can you move the business report first?
I'd be happy to. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report basically updated the definition for autism spectrum disorder and also updated how we provide treatment for autism spectrum disorder, putting some parameters on how that the treatment needs to be medically necessary. That is the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report. I respectfully ask for your support.
Is there any further discussion on the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the report is adopted. Senator Gonzalez to the Health and Human Services Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, the Health and Human Services Committee report basically moved the effective date of this legislation to January 1st of 2017 from January 1st of 2016, and by so doing eliminated the fiscal note and also made it easier for the insurance companies to accommodate some of the provisions of the bill. I ask for your support of the HHS Committee report.
Is there any further discussion on the Health and Human Services Committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Health and Human Services Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, thank you for your attention. Basically, Senate Bill 15, the goal of Senate Bill 15 is to make sure that children who are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder have access to medically necessary care. We are talking about public health insurance coverage. So in addition to providing access to medically necessary care for these kids, we are also clarifying health insurance laws because there has been some confusion regarding our state mental health parity laws. So we're clarifying health insurance law, and we're making sure that kids have access to the treatment and therapy that they need so that they can be fully functioning individuals in our great state of Colorado. I respectfully ask for your support of Senate Bill 215.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to add a little more information that there's been quite a discussion of autism spectrum disorder as it relates to the governor's budget request for this department. Basically what the governor had requested, and this is not within the context of private insurance or privately covered families. This is more in terms of Medicaid families. But there is a waiting list of about 300 people, somewhere in that range, and there's been a cap, I think, at currently about 75 individuals that can be covered. The Joint Budget Committee is running a bill on that to remove that cap, which is going to increase Medicaid coverage for young people affected by this between the ages of about 6 to 8, to give them a little bit longer coverage and eliminate that waiting list. That's not really a companion bill, but if you're interested as a body of finding out what we're doing on that side of this issue, you could talk with one of our JBC members or our staff about the specifics of that. The problem is that autism spectrum disorder it's very difficult to get a diagnosis and understand which bin this fits under. Is it IDD? Well, maybe, maybe not. Is it mental health? Maybe, maybe not. We really don't know. So as a spectrum disorder, it's very hard to get a taxonomy of where this fits into the overall healthcare system. So I wanted to thank the Senator for bringing this forward to help clarify some of this, but we're having similar problems that we're already addressing through the budget process, and you'll probably see that later this year.
Senator Kapoulis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Senator Lambert. In closing, once again, I respectfully ask for your yes vote of Senate Bill 15. The bill did pass out of the Health and Human Services Committee 5-0, and also passed 8-0 out of the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee. Thank you, colleagues.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 15. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is passed. Senate Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion for the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Majors, would you please read the report?
February 17, 2015, Mr. President, your committee, the whole basic reports under consideration of the following tax bills being second reading thereof makes following recommendations around. Senate Bill 128, Senate Bill 116 as amended, Senate Bill 15 as amended, passed on second reading in order to gross place to count for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 139 laid over until February 19, 2015, retaining its place on the counter. Senate Bill 135 laid over until February 20th, 2015, retaining its place on the counter. Senate Bill 122 referred to the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the adoption of the report.
Is there further discussion on the Committee of the Whole report? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 128, Senate Bill 116 as amended, Senate Bill 15 as amended, passed on second reading and ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 15-139 laid over until February 19th and retaining its place on the calendar. Senate Bill 15-135 laid over until February 20th and retaining its place on the calendar. Senate Bill 15-122 referred to the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. Consideration of resolutions consent calendar. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 4.
Senate Joint Resolution 4 by Senator Roberts, Representative Hamner, concerning requests to the federal government regarding support for wildland fire suppression.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate adopt the resolution listed on the consideration of resolutions consent calendar, which includes Senate Joint Resolution 4 and its associated Agricultural, Natural Resources, and Energy Committee report.
Is there further discussion on Senate Joint Resolution 4? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Joint Resolution 4 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Consideration of resolutions. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 9.
Senate Joint Resolution 9 by Senator Newell concerning the establishment of February as Fibroid Awareness Month.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Joint Resolution 9 lay over to February 20.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted. Senate Joint Resolution 9 will lay over until February 20. Consideration of House amendments to Senate bills. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 159.
Senate Bill 159 by Senator Lambert, Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Public Safety.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Bill 159 lay over to February 18.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Senate Bill 159 will lay over until February 18th. Consideration of governor's appointments, consent. Mr. Majors, would you please read the consent calendar of governor's appointments?
Members of the Colorado Board of Veterans Affairs for terms expiring June 30th, 2018, William Lewis Robinson of Castle Pines, Colorado, serves as a veteran and as an unaffiliated reappointed. Dwayne E. Daly of Hot Sulphur Springs, Colorado, serves as a veteran and as a Republican appointed.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate confirm the consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar, including members of the Colorado Board of Veterans Affairs.
You have heard the motion on the governor's appointments to the Colorado Board of Veterans Affairs. Is there further discussion? Are there any no votes on the appointments? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, William Lewis Robinson and Dwayne E. Daly are confirmed. Signing of bills.
February 13, 2015, the President has signed House Joint Resolutions 1006, 1007, 1008, 1010, and 1011.
Message from the governor.
June 27, 2014, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor of designating appointing and submit to consideration the following members of the Colorado Lottery Commission. For terms expiring July 1st, 2018, Michael Dwayne Weatherwax of Boulder, Colorado, a Democrat and certified public accountant who has practiced accountancy in Colorado for at least 5 years appointed. Jim Bensberg of Colorado Springs, Colorado, serves as a public member and as a Republican appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Colorado Lottery Commission appointments will be assigned to finance.
August 26, 2014, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor of designating, appoint, reappoint, and submit to consideration the following member of the State Plumbing Board. For a term expiring July 1st, 2018, John D. Krakow of Arvada, Colorado, a person engaged in the construction of residential or commercial buildings as a plumbing contractor appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
State Plumbing Board appointment will go to Business, Labor, and Technology.
August 26, 2014, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor of designating, appoint, and submit to consideration the following member of the Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board. For term expiring May 15, 2017, Catherine Jean Aschenfelter of Denver, Colorado, serves as an employee of a hospital in Colorado and occasioned by the resignation of Madeline L. Robertson of Greenwood Village, Colorado, appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board appointment will go to Health and Human Services.
October 6, 2014, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor of designating, appoint, and submit to consideration the following member of the Advisory Committee to the Property Tax Administrator for a term expiring September 1st, 2018. Corbin Sackdahl of Littleton, Colorado, serves as an assessor for McCounty with a population over 75,000 and as a Republican appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
The Advisory Committee to the Property Tax Administrator will be assigned to local government.
January 23rd, 2015, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. And ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the constitutional laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor of designating board submit to consideration the following members of the Air Quality Control Commission. For terms expiring January 31st, 2018, John M. Klaus of Denver, Colorado, a person with appropriate scientific and technical training or experience, and a Democrat reappointed. The Honorable Laura Doreen Teague of Fort Morgan, Colorado, a person with appropriate agricultural training or experience, and a Republican reappointed. Curtis Otto Reuter of Westminster, Colorado, a person with appropriate technical and industrial training or experience, and a Republican appointed. Sincerely, Joseph A. Garcia, Lieutenant Governor, acting on behalf of the state while Governor John W. Hickenlooper is absent from the state.
The Air Quality Control Commission appointments will go to Health and Human Services.
January 23rd, 2015, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the constitutional laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, reappoint, and submit to consideration the following members of the Colorado Children's Trust Fund Board. For terms expiring November 7, 2017, Lachey Kennedy of Aurora, Colorado, serve as a parent, reappointed. Gregory Jackson Tung, MPH, PhD of Denver, Colorado, serve as a representative with knowledge of child abuse prevention, appointed. Sincerely, Joseph A. Garcia, Lieutenant Governor.
Colorado Children's Trust Fund Board appointments will go to Health and Human Services.
January 4, 2015, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the constitutional laws of the state of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, appoint, reappoint, and submit to consideration the following members of the State Housing Board. For terms expiring January 31st, 2019, Letitia Jones Horace of Denver, Colorado, Democrat, a resident of the 1st Congressional District, appointed. Raymond Timothy Hunter of Grand Junction, Colorado, a Republican and resident of the 3rd Congressional District, reappointed. Barbara Cleland of Aurora, Colorado, a Republican and resident of the 6th Congressional District, reappointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
State Housing Board appointments are assigned to local government. May I invite the choir to assemble at the well? That's where the 2 microphones are.
Okay. Just this troublemaker.
Senator Hill.
We need to audition some of these people.
Who are we doing? Oh.
Whose birthday is it? Oh,
Senator Hill.
that's why. You got to look at your age.
Stand up here, Senator. You can stand in for him since you get to stand there.
Are we ready?
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Senator Hill.
You are.
Happy birthday to you.
Please welcome Senator Hill's son, Caden, as well. Stand up. Announcements. Senator Kafalis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I respectfully request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I just wanted to share 2 things really quick. One is that I just wanted to acknowledge one of our own, one of our state troopers. My wife, Beth, and I and our nephew, they are here with me today, and I'll introduce them in a moment. We were up at Estes Park, up in Rocky Mountain National Park on Sunday. We did a really wonderful hike up above Barrow Lake. On the way out, we got hammered by the snowstorm. It was very difficult coming down off the mountain. We ultimately had to come down Highway 7 through Lyons. But it turns out that one of our own was off duty in I think it was a 4Runner, but basically he must have noticed my plates and basically served as a guardian angel, kind of keeping track of me to get down the mountain, because he could see that I was going a bit slow, given that my car is a Toyota Prius and I didn't have the proper tires. So I just wanted to acknowledge this particular state trooper who actually was a guardian angel and kind of saw us all the way through to Lyons. That said, I also would like to introduce my wife, Beth Helmers, and my nephew, Platonas Selemenaikis. That's as Greek as it gets. He's here checking out CSU and CU for PhD programs in cancer biology. Would you joining me in welcoming those folks?
Senator Kafalis, it was that trooper that kept me from passing you, so I'd like to meet him. Senator Todd.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I do want to make sure that with all the things that are on our desks in the morning, that you did see the invitation for the Diabetes Caucus that is tomorrow at noon in room 354. So come join us, and let's see. Yes, if you will RSVP, there is a little note at the bottom, please.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, listen up for a second. Joint Budget Committee will meet as soon as possible after adjournment, but at 2 o'clock this afternoon, we're having an informational discussion with HICPUF over targeted rate increases in the department. That's a very, very important issue. There are lots of problems in that area, so I want to invite anybody that's on HHS or is interested in following that issue to join us right at 2 o'clock for that. And this is also intended to let you know and let people out in the lobby know that we are not taking votes on that today. It is informational only. Thank you.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, a reminder that today is Realtor Day at the Capitol. We have realtors from all across Colorado here in the Capitol with us, and they have a luncheon that starts right now at the McNichols Building. If you have not been to the McNichols Building, you just go out the north end of the Capitol, turn left, go downhill, cross Lincoln, Broadway, and go one more block. It's a 3-block walk, and you will be at the McNichols Building. Please stop by and say hi to realtors from around the state. They do a great job of constituent-based advocacy.
Further announcements. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, just a reminder, there are committees meeting upon adjournment. Afternoon committees will meet at 2 p.m. And absent further announcements, move the Senate adjourn to 9 a.m. Wednesday, February 18th.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will be adjourned until Wednesday, February 18th at 9 a.m.